What's going on in here, man? Activision, what are you doing here, bro? Capcom, you here too? The fuck? What are you guys doing here, man? What is that? Sake? Are you drinking sake right now, man? Oh shit, what the fuck? Hey, Google Stadia? You're in the building too? You smoking fucking... What is that? Is that Indo? Man, put that shit out, man. EA, the fuck is going on in here? Why are you guys in here, man? I'm gonna have to actually leave, bro. This shit is crazy. What are you doing here, man?
Warm up the butter.
You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. How's everybody doing? How is everybody feeling this fine week, this fine Monday? I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. I know I did. I had plenty of barbecue, so much fucking ribs. I mean, so much baked beans, so many, everything, man. I mean, for months, probably. Still have ribs in the refrigerator. I'm not mad. This is going to be a great show. I want to say to all the newcomers, all the new listeners that are listening right now, welcome to the podcast. I hope to see you next week and the week after that, and so on and so forth. If you like nerd culture, if you like anime, if you like video games, man, you've come to the right place. This is what we talk about here. I live it, I breathe it, and it's here, man, on the podcast. So without further ado, man, let's fucking get started. I hope you guys enjoyed the little baby intro right there. I thought I'd have a little fun poking at some of these publishing companies, man, who are just money hungry and all they care about is, that bottom line. And I just, wanted to try something different, and so I did. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Anyway, let's get started, guys. I want to talk about some news that a lot of you guys might already know, especially if you're into Netflix and all of that. The Witcher is actually getting a show on Netflix. Yes, The Witcher is getting a show on Netflix. All I can say is I hope that is good. I hope that is great. The guy playing The Witcher is the same guy who played as Superman in the latest Superman movies that's been out here in the last few years or so. His name is Henry Cavill. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it looks pretty good, man. I mean, I remember when they first started showing pictures of how he looked, as the character or whatever. And it didn't look all the way right. It looked kind of off. I think, his hair, it just seemed too perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one who thought this, but apparently a lot of people did. But then as the new shots started to come out, and they've been coming out recently, it looks a lot better. Everything really looks a lot better, man. And I don't know, man, I'm always going to be excited about anything pertaining to The Witcher, and how the show, takes off is definitely going to be something that I think me, myself, and a lot of you guys listening are going to be interested to find out, because over the years, there hasn't really been a good track record of converting game characters to movies or TV for the most part. I mean, very rare do you get that perfect storm. I mean, the first Mortal Kombat movie, they did a great job. But everything after that kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. So I hope they do good with this. I really do. And I hope it does well. And I'm interested to see how everything happens in this story. Like, where are they going to start it from? I'm not familiar with the novels. I'm sure a lot of you guys may be familiar with that, but The Witcher is a big universe. It's got a lot of fucking lore in there. And I mean, as big as The Witcher 3 the game was, there were 2 other Witcher games before that, and even all those 3 don't cover all of the lore in this property. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it. Like, I really want to know where they're going to start from, because in a lot of the pictures if you don't know, like he's only got one sword right now. They're not showing, him with the twin swords or whatever. So I'm wondering, like, is this going to be, a semi kind of origin type of thing or what? I don't know. They could gauge it and see how well the show does. If it doesn't take off like they think it will, then maybe they stop it. If not, they could blow it up and it could be an actual series on Netflix, But we'll see. I'm excited though. Thought I'd mention that to you guys. Anyway, moving on. One quick tidbit real quick. If you guys are wondering, like, the release date on this, there's no actual release date per se right now. The only thing I can find on the internet right now is that it's autumn of 2019. So we are going to get it this year sometime. So I thought that'd be interesting for you guys to check out, man. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking for it. Speaking of Netflix, Stranger Things came out on the 4th. No, I did not get a chance to start it yet. I did see the other 2 seasons, loved it, loved everything about that show. The soundtrack, just the feel of the vibe they were trying to convey, everything about that fucking show, man, how everything worked out. It was just great writing. It was a great show. And I cannot wait to get on this. My 4th of July was really fucking busy. I mean, I barbecued pretty much all day and I was exhausted. And then after that, I don't even remember what the fuck happened, but I do mean to get to the show, and I am going to get to the show probably tonight or as early as tomorrow. And by the time you guys hear the next week's podcast, I'll probably have finished all of those episodes, and I will definitely be talking about it and, letting you guys know how I felt about the show, about this season. So looking forward to it, man. I've talked to my daughter. She's already about 4 or 5 episodes in. She says it's fantastic, so I'm going to get to it very, very soon and let you guys know. All right, next up on my list of things to talk about, I want to kind of talk about AEW, man. I didn't get a chance to, go into that last week's episode, and I apologize for that to guys who were looking forward to that. I had so much shit written down on my basically my production sheets, and I didn't, for some reason it got lost in the fray somehow, and I didn't get to address that like I wanted to. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of AEW and WWE now. A lot of changes and shit like that have been going on, man. I think Vince McMahon has went as far as to go hire, a couple guys. I want to say, God damn it, my brain right now. I want to say Paul Heyman. And I also want to say, oh my God, my brain is, and I don't have this fucking shit written down, so I apologize, guys. But basically what he's trying to do now is he's just reaching. He's hiring other people and trying to give them power, more power, I would say that, and try to make some things bubble, try to make some things shake and change, because he in his heart knows that there's going to be a lot of smoke out here in these wrestling streets, especially in October when AEW goes and hits TV. And with all the recent, pay-per-views and the recent success that AEW is having, man, he's got to be by himself sometimes at night, sipping on his sake, maybe smoking a scroll or two. And he's got to be thinking to himself, I've got to do something. It's not panning out. Things need to change, because when these boys get here, it's definitely going to be, it's going to be fun. It's really going to be fun. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that, WWE is going to go under and all this shit. No, I'm not saying that. They've been around too long. They're a machine in essence. I mean, there's always going to have fans. Even if the pissed fans are pissed, they're still going to be fans. They're just going to be pissed fans. So, all I'm saying is that it's going to take time, of course, for everything that's new, to hit the scene, to do certain things. But right now, if I was just to judge off what I've seen so far, I'm just going to say that in a few years, I have a feeling that AEW is really going to be, up there, man. I really do. And I say that mainly because they have the financial backing for that. Anytime you got money behind something, I mean, you can pretty much make anything possible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of these smaller indie companies and stuff like that, if they had the money, that the cons had, we'd be talking about probably them, more so right now. But it's not about that. You know what I mean? And now we finally come to a place now where somebody else is trying to start a company and they have just as much money and clout as WWE does now. So as you can see, man, the tide is turning. There's going to be a lot of different employees. There's going to be a lot of different changes, man, going on out here in these streets. And, you know, we're going to be we're going to get the best of it, because whenever two big companies are, you know, jockeying for a position, or, you know, trying to get the one over on the other person, we benefit most from that. Because right now, if you have a shitty product, which WWE has pretty much right now for a while now, it's been pretty shitty, you know, and then you get a new company that comes out, it basically forces, you know, that other company to be the best that they can be and try to do whatever they can, you know, to do that. Right now, WWE is very uncomfortable right now. They don't know where to turn. And they're just pulling shit out of the sky. They're trying to make shit stick. That's what they're trying to do right now, because AEW hit hard and they came out, you know, with a great product. They came out with great shows, their pay-per-views, all of that. I mean, I took a glance at the Fyter Fest shit, and when I say that shit was off the chain, I mean it was literally off the fucking chain. I mean, these motherfuckers were out here getting it done, and it was just exciting to see, man. It's so exciting to see. That's all I'm going to say, man. And I listened to Jim Ross talk about, you know, his new endeavor with the company, and how, you know, he wants to prove everybody wrong, and how he's, you know, interested in, you know, trying to be a part of something great, part of something new, you know, setting records out here in these streets. You know what I mean? A new company. AEW could be that next, you know, big thing, you know, like moving forward. And we can be sitting here talking about this 20 years from now, talking about, man, I remember when this shit happened. I remember when everybody was talking about it and all of this. And now look at this company now. They're already talking about games. They're already talking about making games. A lot of the, you know, main roster in AEW, man, they love video games. And that's another thing that I, you know, resonate with when it comes to, you know, AEW, especially one of their, you know, cash cows, one of their poster boys, you know, of AEW, which is, he goes by the name of, if you don't know, Kenny Omega. He was a huge star in Japan. He's quoted as being one of the greatest wrestlers, period, today, right now, as we speak. And he is an avid gamer. And he stated that his favorite wrestling game, which is up there with, we pretty much got the same thing in common, is his favorite wrestling game is No Mercy. Okay, WWF, back in the day it was called WWF before WWE, but yeah, WWF No Mercy. That game was fucking awesome. I mean, everything that THQ / you know, AKI did, you know, was dope. Their AKI engine is fucking phenomenal, man. If you haven't heard of these games, check them out. I know a lot of you young guys listening to this, you know, may not necessarily know what I'm talking about, but you know, that's what YouTube is for, man. I mean, if you Google some of the best wrestling games, that's the Nintendo 64 too. If you guys don't know what system that's on, the Nintendo 64, some of my favorite games ever in the history. And I'm going to, you know, I want to do an episode one day where I just talk about my favorite games, all systems, everything, and do something like that, because one of my all-time favorite games is WCW / NWO versus the World. And that is a Nintendo 64 game. Okay. And basically, I love that game because of the roster. In my opinion, it had one of the greatest rosters on any wrestling game, you know, that I could think of when you're talking about rosters. Now, as far as the engine is concerned, it still dealt with the same engine, the AKI engine, but it was a less refined engine. So by the time the next game came out, which was WrestleMania 2000, they changed up some shit. And then when No Mercy came, they refined it a little bit better than that. So you had more animations, better animations, more moves, all these things that you could incorporate with the ladder matches and stuff like that. And it was just killer. It was just an awesome game, man. And also the other game, I have to mention this, is Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. That's basically Japanese. That's the Japanese version of the No Mercy. If you don't know about Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, you need to Google that shit, because that game's awesome as well. It had Vader in there. It had some American wrestlers in there. But what I loved about that game is that they had dome arenas. They also had create titles. You can create, you know, they had belts that you could fucking create. They also had fucking masks that you could create and put on your characters when you created your character or whatever. That's two things that those are two things that, you know, No Mercy did not have. Also, they had announcers as well. That's something else that No Mercy didn't have. And they also had what was, in my opinion, the greatest thing of all was the fact that you could build a MMA fighter. They had MMA fighters in this game. You could have MMA matches in this game. and the fighting was a little bit different. Or if you wanted to get really, really like bold and innovative, you could mix, the styles up. So you could have some moves like, low, grappling moves, MMA type style moves mixed in with other grappling holds and stuff like that of the wrestling games engine. It was fucking awesome, man. And then they actually even had a hidden unlockable, like basically if you turned the game on, like I think it was 100 times, I'm not sure how many times, but it's a certain amount of times that you turn your Nintendo 64 on. I think once you hit like that 100th click with that game inside, it unlocks all of the fucking move sets for the WCW wrestlers. They just had a lot of dope shit in that game. I mean, and then they also had supers. So if you're familiar with like the ultimate moves, when basically when you're getting your character hype and you toggle that analog button and you're able to, go into special mode and you do your ultimates and your specials there. What the Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 had was they had a super special move. So once you went, and not every character had it, only, a certain amount of characters had it, but once you fucking you went into your special mode and you're glowing and shit and you're really, overpowered and you're ready to do your shit, you could wiggle it again and you could go into a fucking extra, ultimate mode. And you could do some extra crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like a brain buster off the fucking top ropes and shit. I fucking loved that fucking game. And that was back in, also guys, if you don't remember, that's back when you could have girl on guy, back in the Attitude Era, man, when shit was crazy, when matches were out of this fucking world and you could just do whatever the fuck you wanted. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could do girl on guy, you know what I mean? You could do crazy tag matches and shit like that. If you didn't like a female character, you could beat the shit out of her. And it was just a game and we all knew it was a game. But now try doing that shit on, WWE 2K17 or 2K18, 19 or whatever. Try doing that shit. Try to do that. You can't do it. They won't even allow you to do that shit. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know where they went wrong with this. Somewhere between that time and the current time, they kind of lost control of that shit. And I don't know, what the fuck we're looking at now. I think the world has become really, really sensitive when it comes to certain things when I don't think it should be. And, it just, I don't know, man. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to move on because, yeah, I don't want to let it fuck up my day. And it's not going to because I'm not going to let it. Anyway, I just thought that was awesome. I also thought that it was awesome that Kenny Omega stated that he said, "I've made it my mission to bring the AKI engine back." So whenever that game is going to come out, because trust me, guys, there's going to be an AEW video game. When that happens, hopefully we will get, the company AKI working. We will get that engine, just a, modified version of that engine, and we will get to play on that engine for whatever game we're playing, man. If you guys also don't know who utilized this engine, there was some games back in the day called Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York. Those two games were using that engine as well. Those were awesome games as well, man. Very fun games. I remember beating the shit out of my brothers on the weekends. It was crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, that engine is awesome. I love that engine. It's still my favorite engine as far as wrestling games go, period, man. And like I said, it's still some of my favorite video games ever are still those games I named earlier in this podcast, man. I'm serious. So I just can't fucking wait till that company comes out with that, basically that straight, that straight HD, Nintendo 64 emulator, man. I cannot fucking wait for that because then I'm going to be playing some No Mercy. I'm going to be playing some WCW. I can't fucking wait. Anyway, let's move on. All right. I want to talk about, the season finale of a couple shows that just happened to be One Punch Man and Attack on Titan, man. Yes, it's over already, especially when it comes to One Punch Man. It happened so fucking fast, man. I mean, goddamn, it was One Punch Man season 2 was awesome. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to my guns on that. The animation is not as good as season 1. I admit that, but it was still a damn good season. And, it's over now and it's fucked up, man. We have to wait a whole nother fucking year to get season 3. Well, by the way they've been handling it though, it could be another 2 years, another fucking 3 years, because I mean, goddamn, if you don't remember, I mean, we had to wait like 3 years, 3 years before we even got season 2. So hopefully we don't have to do that anymore. Hopefully they got their legs beneath them, and we can finally get the next part of the season, when it's supposed to come out. I'm saying, and I think they're on the right track now, because now we're starting to get, more merch. We've got these figures popping up. We've got, McFarlane Toys, dropped his version of One Punch Man, and we've got some things coming. We've got some things from Crunchyroll. They got some a decent selection of statues. I love some of their statues, the band Prestos, and some of the stuff that these guys are doing. Excellent detail. Always love those. They've got Genos coming out. I want a One Punch Man and Genos together. I want a Tanjiro and his sister, from Demon Slayer. I want them. They got some dope shit coming. But you got the merch coming out. You got the fucking One Punch Man game, which I announced last episode to you guys, and I was so excited about that. Also, I got word that, just recently, maybe like 2 or 3 days ago, that my favorite villain in the fucking show so far is in there, which is Deep Sea King. I fucking almost shit on myself, I'm not gonna lie, because I love the Deep Sea King, man. If you guys haven't seen the Deep Sea King episode, season 1, check that fucking episode out. It is definitely an awesome show. I just love the way they incorporated his special abilities, and how that episode was written. It was perfect. Him and Genos had an awesome battle, and then, as I'm saying, Genos is gonna fucking show out every fucking time. But then when it's time to clean up, when it's kind of, for that mop job, guess what? You call Saitama. And yeah, man, I enjoyed myself, and I'm so excited that this game is coming. I really am. I can't wait. And I'm digging the fact that they're not gonna have just season 1 villains on here. They're gonna have season 2 villains on here as well. So, like I said, I've seen already one character from season 2. I know we're gonna see more. So that will also make the roster a lot better too, a lot thicker. And I think we can definitely get with that. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that to you guys if you guys didn't know, or, I was just excited to talk about that. But yeah, man, all in all though, One Punch Man season 2, if I had to give it a grade, man, I'm definitely giving that a solid 8.5. Solid 8.5 out of 10. Easy. No fucking doubt about it. As far as Attack on Titan is concerned, man, I definitely got to give Attack on Titan 9 out of 10 for sure. I got to. And it was on the cusp of 9.5. Yeah, it was just, the only reason why I didn't do that is because, because of the subs. You know what I mean? I watched season 1, season 2, and then I got stuck on, I got involved and attached to the voices and the voice actors on that, and then it switched it up, and then I had to read it, and I had to do the sub thing. But I really appreciate that episode of that season. I cannot wait to see where they're gonna go forward. It's already been announced. It's coming in 2020. I think we all knew that. But just to know that it's on the way is definitely, it's a breath of fresh air to know that there's so much good shit coming, guys. I mean, I'm not bullshitting at all. I mean, as far as anime is concerned, man, there's so much good shit. I mean, there's some anime I was looking into the other day, and I think one is called, what's the name of the goddamn show? Fire something, man. It's about some firefighters. I mean, episode 1 is out now. It's on Crunchyroll, and they have a few other ones that are awesome. But I don't want to get pulled into that, that once a week type thing, man. I want to wait a few weeks and then watch a few episodes. Wait another few weeks, watch the episodes. You know what I mean? Because I'm spoiled, man. I'm spoiled now. I'm like, you give us one episode at a time. I was doing that with One Punch Man. I was doing that with, Attack on Titan. I was doing that with Demon Slayer. And it's just like, yo, so much shit to keep up with like that. So I just, I like to binge. Let's keep it real. I like to binge. There's still a lot of anime that I have not seen yet that I need to go ahead and jump into. And, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with getting into that. And then, staying busy as far as, stuff you want to watch. And then when you're done with that, you come back around and you get blessed with 3 or 4 episodes of this anime or that anime. And it's going to be harder for certain anime, a little harder for others, because, it is like if Dragon Ball Super was out right now, I would have to watch it every week. I would have to. There was no way I would be able to go and wait on that because that's one of my all-time favorites. It birthed me, What I mean by that is it introduced me. Dragon Ball is responsible for just my relationship with anime right now as it is. You know what I mean? If there was no Dragon Ball, there would be no, Naruto. There would be no, no Berserk. There would be none of these other things that I love, these other anime that I love so much. There would be none of that. You know what I mean? So I have to thank Toriyama for that, and I will always love Toriyama for that. And, his crazy ass mind and what he has, swimming in there. I don't know how much sake he drinks on a nightly basis or how many scrolls he smokes, but he definitely did. He broke the mold with a lot of these characters, man, for real. But yeah, so, it is what it is. I mean, I'm going to get it in any way I can. If you guys have any anime to recommend, I always say this. I mean, just please hit me up on Twitter at Studio MacGyver and, inbox me. Let me know. I want to hear some, suggestions, Now, me personally, before I say that and finish my sentences, I want to say that, I'm not into all anime. Okay. I like darker, anime. I'm into the dark side of anime. So if you can find me something like, Fate Stay Night, if you can find me something like Berserk, something in under that realm. It doesn't have to be just extra dark. It can still, but I like the darker anime. I mean, yeah, I really do. So if you guys can help me out with that, man, I'd be more than happy to take some of your suggestions and run with it. And I'll definitely give you a shout out too on the show. No fucking doubt about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking for those. I know there's hundreds and hundreds of different anime out, right now. And I'm just kind of like, swimming in the sea of it. I've got a whole bunch of Gundam stuff I want to, jump into. I think that's my next bet. Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning towards right now. But, who knows? I say that today, and then next week when you hear from me, I'll be talking some other shit. So it is what it is. Whatever falls into my lap, whatever the anime gods want me to fucking, sink into, I guess that's what I'll be sinking into. So with that said, I will move on. I want to talk about something that, I recently finished. I think you guys remember me mentioning Nier Automata. I think I pronounce it like that, Automata. I know you can pronounce it another way. Everybody pronounces it their own way. Some people say Nier Automata. So whatever way you say it is fine with me. You know what I mean? I just love the game. It was a Platinum's game. I played it this past week. I beat it this past week. I did all the endings. Well, I did 4 endings, and I did like technically 5 because I did one on accident. I didn't eat the fish though. Did not do that. But there's like 26 different fucking endings in this game. But the main ones I got out the way and I did and I finished. And I just have to say, that game was definitely a breath of fucking fresh air. The story, let me just say that the story was one of the best stories I have witnessed in quite some time, man. And I'm still find myself like in the shower or, just driving, down the street and pondering that fucking story. That's when you got a dope story. When you're fucking driving or when you're in the fucking shower, washing your fucking body, and all you can think about is, trying to make meaning of, a story on a game you played. I mean, goddamn, that's crazy. Or anime or whatever, but it's all under the same umbrella. It's all the same in my opinion. But yeah, man, that's what I found myself fucking doing, and I still do. I finished it a couple days ago, and yeah, man, then I started looking into the lore, trying to get deeper into it and whatever. It's just a fucking trip. You know what I mean? Imagine aliens and, humans, and imagine you can basically call them the parent, if you will. And, the aliens created these fucking robots, these machines, if you will, and sent them to Earth, to fuck off the humans. And the humans said, okay, well, we got something up our sleeve. We're going to create androids, and, we create them and we put them down there to remedy our situation. Okay. And basically, the rest, I won't even say. I'll just fucking leave alone. If you guys haven't played it, I mean, it's an old game now. I mean, you definitely should. If you don't have this game, if you have a PS4 and you don't have this game, put it on your list to add to your collection. Definitely, it's the story alone is definitely the shit. I bought it because, the developer, which was Platinum Games. But then once I figured out, how the story, once I got a taste of the story, I mean, it was kind of like winning 2 prizes instead of 1, because you got the awesome developer in Platinum Games, which is one of my favorite developers. And then you also got the fucking story. You know what I mean? So it's a win-win. You can't fucking take an L on this game. You won't take an L. You're not going to take an L on the price. You're not going to take an L on the story. And you're definitely not going to take an L on the development side of the game, because all of them are fucking stellar. That's all I'm going to say about that game. Pick it up, guys. Play that shit one day, or put it in your 2 playlist, your bucket list of games. Please do so. Anyway, moving on. I got a little issue with Hulu. I got an issue with Hulu. And my issue with Hulu is, you know what? Maybe it's just because, I've had Netflix for so many years and I just recently, got Hulu, and it's the interface that's just really bugging the shit out of me. I think that's what it is. I'm just not used to the interface, and it's bothersome. It's bothersome to me. Also, I was watching an anime I was finishing up. I was watching Vampire Rain. I talked about this a little bit, a week or 2 ago on the podcast. Excellent fucking show. So it's a dark anime about vampires. You can't go wrong with vampires in anime. You just can't. But what happened was they fucking snowed me. I was snowed. I thought, okay, I'm in the middle. I thought I was in the middle of the season with this show, okay, with Vampire Rain, and I wasn't. I was literally on that last episode, which was episode 24. So, in the middle of that episode, I'm like, oh, I had to do something. I left, I came back, and, you have to hit play again. And it said, 48, only 24 scene of 48 or some shit like that. And I was like, oh, I'm only halfway through. Oh, bet it's going to get interesting. And then the show ended, and then there's nothing else that came up. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And then come to find out, Hulu basically had combined the dubbed with the fucking subbed. So it made me think that it was actually 48 episodes when in reality it was only 24. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why does Hulu do that? That's something I don't understand. I don't understand it. Or they'll tell you that, oh, you're caught up on this, or you're, you've watched everything of the show, but I wouldn't be caught up. Or they would tell me that, I'm on the first episode of a show that I've already watched like 10, 12 episodes of. Like, I don't know if it's their app that's fucking up. I don't know what's going on, but I've been seeing a lot of this on Hulu, man. And that's my quarrel right now with Hulu. Honestly, their interface is, compared to, Netflix, they got work to do, in my opinion. There might be somebody out there that says, no, you're wrong. It's opposite. You know what I mean? Hulu is definitely that company, and definitely I like their interface. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion on it, guys. And I had to bring that up because it pissed me off, man. I was trying to finish this anime. I got excited and I thought there was more to go. And then I come to find out that I fucking didn't. And, Hulu does have more shows, more complete shows, or more episodes of, other shows. But, they still, don't get it twisted. There's still shows that are finished and they don't have all the episodes too either. That happens as well. They do have more dubs than Netflix does. That's why I went with them. And they have a relationship with Funimation, which is why I went with them. I just, you know what, man? It just brings me to say this. I'm kind of frustrated with where, some of this shit is going. Where basically you have, just take anime, for instance. We just take anime and everything under the anime umbrella. And then you take 2 companies. Okay. One company has, half of the anime. The other company says, okay, well, you have that. We have this. We have the other half. And then next thing you know, you think, okay, cool. I got both of these companies. So I have all the anime. Next thing you know, a year passes and there comes another company sticking its head out. And guess what? The companies that you are basically paying for right now, those 2 companies, all of a sudden, right before this third company pokes its head out, you start to notice, you know what? I'm missing anime off of here. Let me go to my other one. You know what? I'm missing anime over here as well. And then that fucking third company pokes its head out and says, oh, I have those other companies right now. I have those other anime right now. So now you have 3 companies, and to get all the anime you want, you have to have all 3. and so on and so forth, man. And that's pretty much what we're looking at, as, as we progress into the future. I mean, that's everything. Everybody's got a fucking network now. You know what I mean? Lord of the fucking Rings has a show coming out, and that fucking show is going to be on, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be on Amazon. Okay. Now, Amazon is sitting there trying to make moves, trying to make shows and all this other shit. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Basically, you either have it all or you're going to be missing shit. You're just going to. And that's what forces people, in my opinion, to fucking, pirate, pirate shows, pirate movies, things of that nature, man. Because, I mean, it's cool to have their own separate app and have certain things. But, I mean, as a consumer, or you should now know that everything's not going to be on there. And if you're not, paying attention, I mean, the writing's on the wall. Like, this is what we're living with right now. This is where everything is headed. Cable is going to be dead really, really soon. Really, really soon. I mean, if you're not a senior citizen, you're probably not really watching cable TV. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. But it's going the way of the dinosaur, man, the way of the fucking dodo. But at the same time, everything's being spread out into their own baby pieces. You know what I mean? So to have everything would mean to actually pay, $400 or $500 if you had every fucking app. The HBO app is like $15 a month. The Showtime app is $10 a month. I mean, it's like all this shit. And if you have a favorite show that you like, oh, I love this show, so I'm going to pay $15 a month just to watch this fucking show. In my opinion, that's too much for one fucking show. You know what I mean? But yes, you do get selected, shows, and then you get certain movies, but everybody's going to networking now. And it's, people say it's a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, man. It really can. Just be wary of that because, now I thought, oh, Netflix and Hulu, I'm set. Technically I am, because there's still so much shit on both that I have to watch. But when you're an anime guy, you see what's going on right now. I mean, everybody's got a piece of something. There's Crunchyroll, there's Hulu, you know what I mean? And there's Netflix, and there's even more, you know what I mean? In between that. So I'm just like, I don't know where to turn, man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this shit out. And, yeah. And the Crunchyroll, I'm like, fuck, all these other great anime coming out, they're on Crunchyroll. And it's just like, I don't know what to fucking do. I'm going to have to end up probably getting Crunchyroll, man. Because this is crazy. But that's what I'm looking at, and I had to bring that to you guys' attention, man, because we're headed there. So get ready, strap on your seatbelts. Here's some news for you guys if you didn't know. Projekt Red is working on 3 Cyberpunk 2077 things. Yes. Okay, one of them is, of course, the Cyberpunk game that is coming out, next year. I think we all know that one. Okay. They're also working on a multiplayer mode. Yes, it's not going to be addressed on the main game. It's something they're going to add on later. Apparently, they have like a 40-man or woman team working on this. And, that's not a very big team, not from Projekt Red. They're just, dedicated to the server aspect of the game. And they're trying to, I guess, get that stuff ready. Because apparently once we get the game, sometime later on, we're going to get the multiplayer mode. Kind of like how Red Dead Redemption 2 did. Something like that. So I guess be looking out for that. But also they're working on another fucking game that is going to take place in the same universe as Cyberpunk 2077. So after this first game we're going to be getting something else somewhere else later down the line. You know what I mean? Probably a couple years, from that down the line on, of course, probably the new generation systems. But it's good to know that they're working on, stuff, because I'm that tells me one thing. That tells me that they know that this fucking game is going to blow shit up. Okay. I don't know. It's just a feeling I have, man, but I know this game is going to wreck fucking shop. It's going to be a big seller, if not one of the best. I'm telling you guys right now, mark my fucking words. I'm going to go back and pull this excerpt from this podcast, and I'm going to fucking flaunt it all over your ears, because I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. I can feel it in my fucking soul that this game is going to do great. It's fantastic things, man. And I'm not even a fucking first person player like that. I'm not into first person games like that. There are a handful that I do love. I hold dear to my heart. The BioShock franchise, I fucking love it. But, that's the game that got me into first person games to actually at least keep an open mind on them. And this is a game here that, first person or not, it's going to be awesome. And I definitely want to play this one for sure. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that. Maybe you guys didn't know. Maybe you guys are anticipating this, CD Projekt Red's game, and I thought I'd give you this tidbit. But yeah, it's interesting to know that these guys are working on some other stuff. So big ups to CD Projekt Red, man. All right, guys. I want to talk about, The Last of Us 2. Okay. Got some new info. It's kind of a rumor, but I think it's real. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because I think it's real. The only reason why I think it's real and other people might, think it's real is because there's a guy, I don't know his fucking name, but basically he basically mentioned something on another game. He predicted something about Death Stranding, a Death Stranding trailer, and it came to fruition. It came true. And that's the only reason why a lot of people are on the boat with what this guy is saying. But basically what he's saying is that February is going to be the month and that we're going to get The Last of Us 2. It's going to be February 2020. And there's going to be 4 different versions on release. Okay. The first version is going to be the standard edition. The second is going to be the special edition. The third is going to be collector's edition. And then there's going to be a 4th edition, and that's going to be called the Ellie edition. Damn. It makes you wonder, like, what the fuck is going to be in that Ellie edition? You know what I mean? Because usually when you think about collector's edition, okay, that's the creme de la creme. That's the one that everybody, wants. That's the one that's going to sell out, in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. That's the one with the statues. That's the one with all the bells and whistles. So what is the Ellie edition going to have, man? I really can't wait to find out what this is going to be. These are going to sell like fucking hotcakes. I promise you. Same thing with, the Cyberpunk 2077 shit. That shit is gone. Okay. That's just going to be gone. If it's not gone already, it's going to be gone. All right. So yeah, let's find out. I mean, I'm already ready for this game too. This is another game on my radar that I cannot fucking wait to play. I loved the first one, and I loved even the online mode. They killed it. I mean, I hope they do another online mode. And I'm not a multiplayer guy. You guys know this. I do not like multiplayer games that much. They're not the top of my list because of, all of the longevity issues and server issues and things of that nature. But this one here, that fucking online mode was awesome. Okay. And it was just a breath of fresh air because I did not expect it to be that fucking good. But it was, man. And I loved it just as much as I loved the story, which, the story was awesome. The story was fucking awesome. So yeah, I cannot wait for this game. This is going to be another one. This is probably going to be the only other game that, CD Projekt Red is going to be competing with as far as, sales and all of that. I think this is it. These are going to be the 2 heavyweights of 2020. You know what I mean? Straight up. But yeah, I just wanted to mention those different editions, man. That's going to be crazy, man. 4 different editions, I mean, I think that's a little overkill, honestly, but this is one of the only companies in my opinion that can get away with this shit. Because I mean, I've talked about this before in the past where, why the fuck do we have to have 4 or 5 different versions of a fucking game? It's just a company's way of trying to milk the consumer. You know what I mean? A regular edition, okay. A special edition, like what are you going to get? Just an extra fucking, a map in that bitch or some shit like that, or some stickers or some shit. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just not DLC pieces and items, digital pieces of shit, that should already be in the game, in my opinion. I mean, it's just milking the system. The only reason why I'm not bitching and moaning so much about these guys is because, they're them. You know what I mean? They boo-boo gold chunks. You know what I mean? They pee, golden water. That's it. I mean, when you have a company like that, you can kind of talk the talk and you can kind of fucking walk the walk. But there are very, very few exceptions to that. You know what I mean? And if you ask me really, how I really feel about it, I mean, I really wouldn't like any company to doing that. I think it should just be straight up, regular version and a collector's edition. That's it. I don't think there should be really anything in between. I think CD Projekt Red has it right. honestly, of between the two, but it is what it is. But I'm not gonna eat, the lunch of The Last of Us 2 because their developers are actually awesome as well. You can't go wrong with them. You just can't. So Naughty Dog, hey, what can you say? But yeah, I thought I'd mention that, guys, and I'll move on to the next subject. Shemmue 3. If you guys don't know about Shemmue 3, it was a classic back in the day. There's some shit that just went down recently, okay? Shemmue 3 basically announced, last year, I want to say it was, that basically they were taking, backers to put out the game. And, they fucking met their quota and then some. So basically what they ended up doing was fucking over the backers, okay? Because pretty much everybody, was gonna get it for Steam. It was basically thought to be released on Steam, okay? And even by them said that, it's coming out for Steam. You must have Steam to play this game. And then at the last fucking minute, and I do mean the last minute, I mean that literally. I mean that like a day or two before the trailer was announced, okay? These motherfuckers pulled a fast one and then basically said that, no, this is going to be an Epic Games exclusive. So there was so many hot motherfuckers. There were so many people that were upset. And like there were a whole bunch of, I felt like could be staring out into a mountain of just nothing but Drakes because all these motherfuckers were upset. But anyway, that is not how you fucking operate a business. That is not how you treat your backers, okay? People who've put money, and put hope and pride and faith into your ability to, put out a game because they had faith and they loved, prior projects. That's not how you treat people, man. And, they just, thought it was just very nonchalantly, done and that it was no big deal. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean when I say that people are more powerful than we think we are especially when we, come together. Because that's what happened. These guys, these backers, they got together. They started protesting, you know what I mean? This whole fucking fiasco. And then as a result of that, they are now going to offer refunds to the backers. Okay. Yes, they are. So that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you pull together and, you come together and don't let people walk all over you and you don't take shit, then, things will happen. Things will change. You'll set a fucking bonfire across the internet waves and then they have no choice. They can't ignore it. And then especially if they're a public company, I mean, they know that these fucking investors are watching this. What the fuck is going on here, man? I'm seeing this. It's all in my feed and da 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 da. Now, motherfucker, you have to make that change. Okay. Make an apology, type you up an apology. And then on that note, we're going to get these motherfuckers back their money if that's what they want. I mean, so they're forced to do something. Okay. If this would have nobody would have said anything. If it just would have just stayed where it was at, they would have just sat back drinking tea, smoking scrolls and continuing to pour their glass all the way to the brim with sake because they wouldn't give a fuck. Okay. So basically what happened was we came out here, we saw this, the backers were seeing what was going on. They said, okay, fuck this. They ran right up on Shemmue 3 and they smacked that, that tall fucking glass of sake. They slapped it right out of their fucking hand and it hit the concrete and shattered. And then they said, no, fuck that. And then they fucking slapped the other hand that was holding a fucking scroll, perfectly rolled scroll. And it had endo in it. And it had that potent endo in there too, man. I'm talking about that shit that was, smoked by, fucking ninjas and monks and all that shit. And they fucking slapped that at their hand and they stomped it out. They stomped out the fucking flame. Okay? That's what you have to do to these motherfuckers sometimes to get results. That's what you have to do out here in these video game streets to get results. Okay? And they did it and the results were made. And moving forward, that's how it should always be. If there's something that the consumer, us, don't like, we should speak our mind about it. And then if enough people do so, guess what? Change will come. Change will be made. Okay? And that's what's happening. I love to see shit like that. I love it. Because when you try to fuck over people, man, you shouldn't get away with it. You should not get away with it. And that's what a lot of these companies, they think they can fucking do all the time. They think they can just do whatever the fuck they want to. You know what I mean? And nobody's going to do anything about it. And that's not the case. It's not the fucking case. And that proves it. Me talking about this right now proves that 110 fucking percent. So take that, Shemmue 3. Get it fucking right next time. Please get it fucking right. Because if I'm not even a PC guy, and I know that Epic Games is straight trash compared to Steam. Okay. Steam is trying to be just like, Epic Games is trying to be just like Steam. They don't have nearly as many, things that they can do. Steam is like the creme de la creme right now, but Epic is trying to come, and what Epic is doing is just undermining prices. Okay, for the developers, that's what they're doing right now. They're saying, okay, well, you're going to charge this percentage to have your game on your shit. Well, we're just going to charge you that. So if you come on our shit, we're going to save you 15%. So the company's like, oh shit, 15% of millions of dollars potentially is a lot of fucking money. So they just, okay, so we go with them. Even though you don't have as many features, not even close, even though your shit is still fucking, a lot of your shit is still fucking janky and shitty. They're looking at the money. They're not thinking about the consumer. You see what I'm saying here? That's all they were thinking about was money. It was a straight money decision. Okay. That's all it was. It was a straight money decision. And then when the shit didn't work out the way that they wanted to work out, as you can see, this is what transpires. This is what happens. Okay. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't fucking make him drink it. All I'm trying to say is it's not always about the money. It's not. In the end, the consumer wins. It will come back around. It will come back around and you will be blessed. If you're thinking, oh, I need to grab this money now type shit, I'd rather just fuck over the consumers a little bit and take this money. You know what? It's going to come back around. It's going to fuck you. Because when you put out that next project, it's going to hurt. As opposed to just making something genuine, making something, that everybody would appreciate, putting your heart and soul into it, because we're not stupid. We can see these things. We know when a project has had tender love and care, put into it. We can tell, man. And that is going to go longer than, that quick cash grab. You know what I mean? You get a license to something that's popping, that's popular, and you think that, oh yeah, we got this license, man, they're going to buy it. Yeah. Fool me once, motherfucker. That's all you're going to get from me. So you keep playing these lollipop games. You keep running around the mulberry bush. You keep on jeffing. And I promise you, I will cut your fucking digital throats. And that's what's going to happen. So I'd have to share that with you guys. But anyway, man, let me get on to this last little piece. And I'm going to get my ass up out of here. Big fans of Akira. Anybody out there? Big fans of Akira. Akira is definitely responsible for a lot of current anime junkies right now. I can definitely attest to that. I was watching this, matter of fact, last night. But yeah, man, these guys are doing some big things. Apparently, these guys have a live action movie coming out in 2021. I wonder how that's going to work out, man. I just talked about it earlier. Please don't fuck up Akira. Please don't do that. These guys have, and this has been in the works for quite some time, apparently, for years. Okay. I'm guessing they don't want to fuck this up. I'm guessing they do not want to drop the ball on this. This is one franchise you don't want to drop the ball on, because Akira is just known out here in these anime streets. Okay. It's like Ninja Scroll out here in this bitch. I love Ninja Scroll. I fucking love it. But it's bigger than Ninja Scroll though. Let's keep it real. But it's still, it's a big boy. Okay. And people don't play with Akira. Do not fucking play with Akira, man. I'm just saying that. Please get this shit right. But they have a live action movie coming in 2021. It's still a little ways away, but they also they claim they're working on a new anime adaptation. Now, I looked into this and apparently they won't say if it's going to be a show, a ongoing series or if it's going to just be another movie in the universe. They don't know. It's just going to be a new anime adaptation. So it could be one of those two. It can really only be one of those two. They could kind of do like a movie thing, kind of like how they did with the Berserk, with the Egg of the King, and so on and so forth. They could kind of do something like that, where you got 3-4 different parts, or they could actually go into anime mode and start, do it over a season or two or whatever. Who knows what they're fucking gonna do, because that universe is pretty swole as well. I'm sure you could probably come up with some dope shit in that universe. You know what I mean? But that's definitely on the lookout. Also, there's going to be a 4K fucking remaster coming in 2020. So they're doing big things right now with Akira. And it makes sense now. You got the remaster coming in 2020, and then you have a new anime adaptation coming as well. And then, might as well do the live action thing too. Why don't just get all the money you can, while everything's fresh and hot. You know what I mean? I just hope I hope this is not a cash grab. I hope it's, I hope a lot has went into this. I hope a lot has gone into this, and they, you can't go wrong with the 4K, remaster. You can't fuck that up. I hope you can't, but that's already, that basically that's already finished in a sense. You know what I mean? Akira is a classic. So I'm just really talking about the other two. You know what I mean? The new anime adaptation, and definitely the live action shit, the live action movie, because it's so hard, man, to make a live action movie off of anime sometimes. It just really is. You know what I mean? There's only a couple that I've seen that I actually really like. And one is Ghost in the Shell. And, a lot of people bitch about, the star, in that, Scarlett Johansson, which she should have been Asian or whatever. But, that's here nor there. I just liked what I saw. I just liked the movie. I don't care what other people think. And then you also have the other one, which was one that just came out just recently too. And I went to go see it at the theater and everything. I don't know why I can't fucking remember. Battle Angel, Alita. Yeah, that one. That one was fucking awesome. And I hope we get a second part to it. So, it can be done. I'll say that it can be done, but we'll see. We'll wait on it. I'll let it marinate. I'll let it percolate a little bit, and we'll find out. But I just thought that was very interesting. And I love the fact that anime is out here in these streets. It's in the air. We're getting adaptions here. We're getting even shows like, The Witcher is coming to, it's just, we've come a long way, man, as gamers and gamer fans and anime fans out here. Come a long fucking way. You know what I mean? When the shit used to be just so taboo when I was in high school and I was walking around with Dragon Ball book covers and shit, and motherfuckers was looking at me like I was purple. But now, you know what I'm saying? It's the thing to do. It's the thing to be. You know what I mean? And I love it. I fucking love it. With that being said, guys, if you want to get at me, if you want to talk about Dragon Ball, if you want to talk about anime, video games, what the fuck ever, you can always reach me on Twitter at Studio MacGyver. You can also reach me on Instagram at Studio MacGyver79. Check out the Facebook page, guys, at Studio MacGyver as well. And also, you can check me out on YouTube, Studio MacGyver TV. Yes, sir. Got new shit coming soon. I'm working on some stuff, guys, for the channel. I'm still working on a Discord. I say it almost every fucking week, but I am. I've got a Patreon coming in the works. I got some things coming, man. I'm just trying to, make some things move here. I'm just trying to be patient. If you like merch, if you like nerd culture merch, surrounding all of the things that we talk about here, then you can go and check out Beautiful Nerds. That's www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. Check that out, guys. T-shirts, hats, beanies, hoodies, man, all kind of shit. And it's all related to what we talk about here. It's beautiful, baby. It's beautiful. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank all the new listeners. I want to thank everybody who's been listening to me. This fucking podcast is growing like yeast. This podcast is acting a damn fool, man. I check my numbers every week, and oh my God, guys, it's crazy right now. And I'm so fucking thankful, and I'm so blessed to have listeners like you listen to the show and join me every fucking Monday, and we talk about this shit and nerd out. And I love it, man. I love every fucking second about it. And I love you guys. I just want to tell you that. And thank you for listening. This is Studio MacGyver. and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.